Okay, let's see. This should be working. Let's try it and see. Live. I am live. Live. I am live. All right. How do I share this? Share, share, share. Live chat. Cancel. Discard clip. Where's Manor Lords? Okay, I think this is working, so. Yep, it is definitely working. It's just a long delay, so I gotta get used to that. Yeah, so it's working. Okay. All right, I'm getting started on this, so just wanted to make sure it's up and running. And looks like it is, so I think people are able to see me now. So we'll get ready and get started on it. Going to be playing the game Manor Lords, which is a new medieval city builder. Just okay. All right, so welcome to the game. This is the Ancient Meddler, and today we're doing something a little different. We're not going to be reacting to any music or reviewing any music. We're going to be playing and reviewing a video game. The video game is called Manor Lords, and it is a new game that's in early access, available on Steam, and it's a medieval city builder. It's going to give people a little more time to get connected into the stream. All right. Yep, I can type. So I'm chatting on here. Hopefully this will go well. Last time I did a live stream, it was a disaster, and I nearly got banned. We'll see how this one goes. All right, so as I said, it's a brand new video game. It's been out a couple weeks now. It's in early access, so it's not even officially released. This is kind of a beta version, developmental version. So it's not, the code's not complete. A lot of the features are missing, but what's there is pretty solid, and so you can do a lot. But it is subject to some bugs, and it is subject to some change. But it's such a cool game that everybody's kind of raving about it right now, so that's why I wanted to give it a shot. I played the demo back in 2022 when that came out, and it was amazing. And I knew this was going to be an incredible game. So let's get started. So it's, like I said, it's called Manor Lords, and it is a medieval city builder where you build a village, but it has a lot of RTS and combat aspects as well. So first thing I'm going to do is click New Game, and then it comes up with the new game screen, and you can create your character, which at this point doesn't really give you a lot of options. So we're just going to pick a name for him. Oh, this music is really loud in my ears. I'm going to turn my volume down. Oh, that's better. Yeah, it was like, whoa. So you give your character a name, and you can pick one of 9 different characters that you want to represent you. They don't really mean much, and it doesn't really affect the game at all, and you can't really customize them, so just pick something that you can live with. And for now anyway, I'm imagining at some point he's going to provide customization. Also in the game, you can step into the game and walk around as your character, but currently in the early access version, you don't actually see this character, you just see a generic medieval dude. Alright, but you can create your own custom shield here, and you can be as complex as you want or as basic as you want. So I don't really want to have a beehive as my symbol here, so I'm going to get rid of that. Alright, so you can choose whatever you want, and I love heraldry. I'm always fascinated by this stuff. When I was back in the Society for Creative Anachronism back in the day, and we used to design our own heraldry and stuff, and I always wanted to have like a good program to do it. And at the time, there wasn't really a good one. There was an okay one, but it wasn't great. But this is way better. and you can save and output your the symbols that you create. So you can start with the design on your shield, how you want it broken up. So if you want just one field, then you just select this. But if you want to split it in half, or split it this way horizontally or diagonally, either way. I think this is called per pale, and I think this is called profess, and this is called bend sinister and bend whatever, I don't know. Sinister is left and whatever the one for right is. And I don't know what that's called, chief maybe, something like that. We have it at the top. There's a chevron here, but it actually divides it into 3 pieces, and there's 3 bars across here. I don't know what the difference is really, the size of the bars. This has a diagonal bar down the middle. This is it's quartered this way. You can also quarter it diagonally. You can also do it with the saltier, the cross in it here. You can have the cross there. All kinds of stuff you can do. I'm going to do something fairly simple. I'm going to keep it like this. And I don't want this background pattern. This is the background patterns here. So let's start here. So I don't want to spend the whole video on how to use the heraldry tool, how to develop your own sigil. So, but we could say on this the whole game. So let's say I wanted a white cross on a red field, so I could do like that. If I don't want it to be white, I can change the color. Typically in proper heraldry, you have what are called tints or tinctures, and you have what are called metals. And it's the kinds of colors. And so there's 2 metals, and they are gold and silver, or yellow and white. And then the other colors are the tinctures, or the actual field colors. And there's only a limited number of them. You're not supposed to use any color that you want. You know, there's like red, blue, green, black, like that. There's a very limited number. There's probably more than that. There's not a whole lot. Purple, maybe. Ghouls. What is ghouls? Ghouls is red, right? And then you're supposed to. The rule is, whatever you use for your background, you have to use the other kind for the foreground. So if you use tincture or red, like I'm using red as my background, I can only use white or gold for the symbols on the front. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, people don't follow the rules, and a lot of modern heraldry doesn't follow those rules at all. But that's the old rules. So this would be compliant, or that would be compliant. Or I could flip it and do white here and make this red. That would also be compliant. Whereas that would not be compliant because that's 2 metals. That's a metal on a metal. You're not supposed to do that. Anyway, we're going to keep it simple. I want to split it like this. I want to have no background on either one for now. Okay, so the choice here of field A is the left side, field B is the right side. So let's put red on the background of field. So you can also do these patterns. So if I wanted a checkerboard pattern, I could pick like field A and then do the checkerboard here like that. Or I could do this kind of board, or that, or this, or this, or this. So this is called ermine, and it's supposed to represent like a kind of fur on this white field like that. So a lot of times you'll see that as like that, which I actually kind of like. And then let's put like a prancing horse on top of that. And we'll do the horse in blue, red. That's kind of cool, but I don't like it. So what I want is this. I don't want a horse. I want field A, I want to make this red. Field B, I want it blue. And then I want a symbol on the front of this that's going to be one symbol on the front. So if I pick a symbol here, like say I do this one here, this dragon, it only only puts it on one side. So if I do it on both sides, like that, now I have it on two sides, but I can make this one the opposite, so it's counterchanged, right? Or if I want one in the middle, I can do this. And now it's in the middle. And this is called counterchanged, where you have blue with the red foreground, red with the blue foreground. But I don't really want that counterchanged, so I want it to be yellow. So I'm going to pick this to yellow. Oops, not that. Pick this to be yellow. And there, I'm done. There's my symbol. So that's my sigil. It'll be on the game, and sometimes it shows up on banners and stuff like that in the game. So we're going to continue. So that was easy. The next part is you have to figure out which mode you want to play in, and there's 3 modes you can be in. And so the first one is basically if you just want to do economic stuff. You don't really care about combat. You just want to build your village and have it grow and prosper just on the economic basis. You would choose this option, which is called Rise to Prosperity. The one in the middle is called Conquest, or it's called Restoring the Peace, and you win by conquering every other region. That's what I normally play, because it has combat and stuff in it, which I want to have, but I don't want to be completely destroyed right off the bat, so we're going to change some of these settings. So, Raider frequency, I'm going to set that to medium. Raider free years, I don't want to have any raiders for the first 3 years, so let's keep it like that. Raiders can really mess up your game, so let's just set them up so we don't have to worry about them for 3 years. Initial bandit camps are 1. Random bandit camp spawn limit is 3. Bandit camps are basically that. It's a camp for bandits, and they will come and steal you blind unless you go and wipe them out. We're starting in the spring. Starting supplies we're going to do double, so I don't have to worry about food for a little while. Armament delivery, yes, we definitely want the armament delivery. You cannot play this game well if you don't get that armament delivery. So basically it says, after you build a storehouse and 5 residential plots, they will give you shields and spears to arm your first militia unit, which you need to take out the bandits, so you definitely want that. Residential requirements will keep it balanced, and approval will keep it that way, and basically we'll keep everything else the same way. The main thing I changed here is I don't want the bandits to bother me, or the raiders to bother me for 3 years, and I want double the supplies, and I want well, that's it. Okay, and then just click begin, and now the game starts. And the graphics in this are incredible. It's based on the Unreal 5 engine. And the guy who created this, it's basically one dude who built this whole thing. Now, he did hire some like freelance developers to do some of it with him. But it's basically a one-person show. All right, so this is how it starts. You get a new message here. And the game begins, and it says, Victory condition, dominance. Build up your town, your manor, and when ready, press claims toward regions owned by your opponents. Once a claim has been pressed, be ready for battle. And then you say, I'll unite these lands under my rule. Alright. So to begin with, you start with 5 families of settlers who live in these tents, and that's temporary. They can't stay in those tents. You have to build houses for them, because right now they're homeless, and they don't want to be homeless. And that's what it's telling you up here. Is it's telling you that this little warning sign saying you have a problem, and the problem is that your villagers are not going to be happy because they're homeless. So you need to get them some homes. But before you can get them homes, you need to do a bunch of other stuff too. So first thing you want to check here is how many supplies you have on hand for the critical things that you need, which are food and fuel. You have to have food or you die, you starve to death. You have to have fuel or you freeze to death during the winter. And you have to have those things. And so you start off with a set of those, and you have enough to last us for 8 months of food, and it doesn't tell us how much we have for fuel until we build a house. And then it'll start using the fuel, and it'll tell us how much we have. But it's all of this stuff in these supplies right here. And so up here it tells you what you have for supplies, and so you can see we have 16 timber, and timber is basically a tree that's been cut down, and you use that to build almost everything. We have no planks, we have 40 stone, 20 tools, which I've never seen tools even come into consideration so far. No wooden parts, no roof tiles, and no blocks. And then as far as food goes, we have no meat, no vegetables, no berries. We have 40 bread. And by the way, spoilage is not enabled, so none of the food spoils, so you can keep it in your storage for as long as you want. Now what will happen is if you leave it laying out here on the ground, it will get destroyed by the weather. So you have to build a storage unit, a storage building to put it in. And the storage unit for food is called a granary. So you have to build a granary and put your food in the granary. And then all the other stuff, like the lumber and stuff that's sitting out, if you don't put that in a storage building, it'll also get destroyed. So those are two of the things that you have to do pretty early, is build a granary and a storage house to put all this stuff in. The other thing you need to do is you need to build a whole bunch of buildings. And in order to build those buildings, you have to have timber. And you have a very limited amount of timber right now. So you only have 16 pieces of timber. That's not going to build a whole lot. And if you start building houses right off the bat, you'll run out of timber, and then you won't be able to get any more timber. So the way you get timber is with a logging camp. So you have to build a logging camp before you build anything else. Otherwise, you won't be able to get any more timber, and your game will be over. So don't do that. I made that mistake, and it was a really, really big mistake. So always, the first thing you want to build is a logging camp. So don't make that mistake. So to build something, you basically come down here, and this is to build roads, and this is your construction button. So you click that, and then you can say, okay, well, what do I want to build? I want to build a logging camp. So where am I going to build it? Let's scroll out and we'll take a look at the map. So this is the map of our region, and everything inside this red line is the region that we currently control. Now, I can't do it because I have this selected, so let me deselect that. And I'll scroll out and show you the whole map. So this is the world map. We have this region down here called Nusloch. And then these are the other regions that we don't control. These two regions look like they're controlled by the AI player. And so when they talk about raiders and they talk about the AI player, your opponent, this is who controls these. These other ones are not controlled by anybody. In each region, there are a set number of resource deposits. And so those resources are stone, iron, clay, wild animals like deer, and berries for food. And so in this case, we got screwed on the berries. We only got a very small, we didn't get the maximum. So you also get 2 rich deposits randomly selected. And so in this case, the crown represents rich deposits, which means you have a lot more of them. So our wild animal, we have a maximum of 40 wild animals, which is really, really good. And then over here on the stone, we have 1,200 stone, which is a lot of stone. So we should be mining that stone and selling it to make money. We don't have a lot of berries, and so we're going to be berry poor. Berry poor. And that's it. Those are the resources that you start with. The other, oh, sorry, there's one more resource, which is timber. And that's what all this is. This is your forests, and that's where you get your logging camps, and your timber comes from that. Other than that, the only other resources you can get, you have to create or farm for, and that comes later. But the beginning resources, this is it. So it's not a lot of stuff to worry about, which is pretty nice. Also on the map, you can see the roads. This is called the King's Road. It connects the different regions together. And then as you add things to your map, whether you add roads or you add buildings or whatever you add, they're going to show up here on this map. And all you do is just keep scrolling down, and then the world appears, and keep scrolling down, get all the way down to this level. Look at the plants if you want. So you have to pick where you want to put your logging camp, and you want to do it not too far away from where your base is, but you don't want to put it where the berries are, because you don't want to wipe out your berries. And you don't want to put it too close. You don't want to put it too close to where the wild animals are, because you'll actually chase them away and they'll migrate and they'll leave. And you need them for food. So only problem we have is our base camp is way over here, and this stuff's way over here. So I'm going to need to move my camp. I would move my camp over to here because, yeah, this is not good. So I think I hate this starting location, but there's a thing called a hitching post. It's in the center of your town. That's where your ox is at. See right there. This is my hitching post. So that's where that's kind of the center point of your village at the beginning, and so that's where the greatest bottleneck in the game comes from these oxen, because you need ox to haul timber, and it's for everything. So when you cut down a tree, you need to get the timber to your logging camp. You have to use the ox to haul it there. And when you build a building, they need to take the timber from the logging camp, and they need to be able to get that to the build site. You need the ox for that. So let's see what this new message says. I've heard of your renown. I only seek to defend my rights and my honor against those who would wrong me. I hope you will not judge me by the rumors and slanders that some may spread about me. Signed and sealed by my own seal, Hildebolt von Barenroot. That's my AI opponent. So I can write back to him and tell him, yo, you have no rightful claim to Selbitz in Hofstetten. So you drag that message over here, and then I replied to him. Yo, dude, back off. Alright. So as I was saying, you have the hitching post. And so everything revolves around this oxen. So I don't want my hitching post to be here and my lumber camp to be over here, because then it's got to go back and forth and back and forth. So I need to move my hitching post way closer to where I want to be over here. So fortunately, they let you relocate something. So I'm going to go ahead and tell that to relocate my hitching post, and I'm going to relocate it. Oh, hey, the King's Road's right here, so I'm going to relocate it right here to the King's Road. Now, what will happen is you'll see my villagers start migrating that way. And he's hauling stuff to build the hitching post. So he's hauling the hitching post. My ox. Conrad is driving the ox. Now here's what I was talking about before when I said you could actually drop into the game and see it. So I can scroll in and get really close, but I can get even closer by clicking this button. Now I'm in the game. And I'm here on the King's Road, and I see my people walking by. And I can actually walk over to them. Or run over to them. Hey guys, what's up? Yo man, where you going? Hello? Excuse me. Yo, excuse me. Hey. Okay, fine. Ignore me. So we're gonna walk over here. Yeah, I don't have much to look at because everything's not built yet, but you can see how cool this is. You just look around.
Summer's coming soon.
Right?
Soon the beating.
Hit escape and get out of this. Go back to where you were. Alright. So now the villagers are coming over here to build that relocated hitching post, wherever it was I put it. I don't even know where I put it. Here? Oh my god, I can't find the hitching post. So I'm going to speed this up and let them go ahead and do that. Alright, so they're doing it. I don't know what they're doing actually, to be honest. I keep losing my mouse onto the other screen, which is weird. Oh, there it is right there. Huh? Maybe not. Anyway, they're coming here. So we'll see. Maybe here? Where is it? Oh, there it is.
Fresh start.
Alright, that's my new hitching post. Alright, so it's done. It's finished. And my ox is here. Alright, so let's go ahead and build that logging camp that I told you about. So we grab this and hit logging camp. And I'm just going to put it like right here. And then you want to make sure it's connected to the road. And so pick the road tool, and then these are the connecting points. There should be one on all 4 sides, and that's where you connect your roads to. And so you just connect it to the road like that. That tells you where you're going to put the road, and then if I click the hammer again, it creates the road. And the cool thing is roads are free, so they take no time and they don't take any resources. So you don't have to waste your time and resources building roads. I'm going to connect it over here too. Now it has roads on both sides. Maybe I'll do it on this side too. There, now it's connected on 3 sides. And so they're building this, and they don't have to go very far from the hitching post. But you can see they've started work on it. And it takes 0 of 2 logs, so it's got to go all the way back over to there to grab the log. So it's got to go do that twice. That's one of the reasons why I don't want it to be over there, because everything else I build is going to have to be like that. So let's go ahead and get this done. Alright, so this will build, so I have confidence in that. The next thing I want to worry about is all those supplies that are sitting over there. I need to get them indoors, and I don't want them to be over there anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and build some storage. So you select construction, and you pick logistics from down here, and then you have a bunch of things you can build. And so I'm going to build a storehouse. I'm going to put that right here next to the hitching post, and a granary. Oops, did I just build a granary? Oh, storehouse. And a granary, and I'm going to put it on this side. There. So it's closer to the food sources, which are over here. So it will build those things for me. Now, one of the key things you have to understand about Manor Lords is that you have a certain number of villagers, and your total population, actually these numbers are based on families. So you have 5 families that you start with. Total population is 10, so that's like 2 people in each family. There could be more. And you assign duties to people based on family. So you assign the entire family. So if you say, okay, I have the logging camp needs people to work in it, I'm going to assign a family to work in the logging camp. Everyone in that family will work in the logging camp or do things associated with the logging camp. And construction is not assigned. It's not an assigned task. It's only done by unassigned families. So you always have to keep families unassigned for them to do the construction. There's also other kinds of work that the unassigned families do. So it's all of the odd jobs and the additional kinds of labor that they do. So a lot of the hauling. So when things need to be hauled from the logging camp to a construction site, that's unassigned families that do that, unless you specifically assign people to do the hauling, which you can. Also, when you go from one place to the market and you want to take something to put in the market, that's manually transferred over there. And so it's the people do that, and it takes unassigned people doing a lot of that. Also, people who are assigned to do work have to do a lot of extra stuff that's not specifically related to the task they're assigned. So a lot of time they're doing other things. Also, if a family has a house and in the backyard they have a chicken coop or they have a farm or things that you can add to it for them to produce their own food or their own goods, that family will spend a portion of their time doing those things as well, so it reduces their effectiveness at their assigned job. So I'm talking a lot as these things are being built out. So let's see what we're. So this has got one of the 2 logs, and the other one's on the way. And that's our hitching post, and this has none of 2. So it's going to take a while. So I'm going to bump this up to even faster, so that they will get done quicker. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer all the stuff from the storage, from the supplies that are sitting on the ground over there. I'm going to transfer them into these buildings so we don't lose a lot of it, because we're already starting to lose goods because the weather's bad. And so we need to get that stuff out of there as quickly as we can. So where's my... blocks. And you hit T, it takes you to the center of your town, which, since my town is kind of spread out, I put it here. But, okay, so there's stuff over here. I could upgrade this to a worker camp, but I don't want to do that. A worker camp means that it's permanent housing, but you can't add anything to it and you can't develop it. So they're basically we're going to go ahead and start telling it to build other stuff too. Alright, so the next things I need to worry about building are my food. So I need to get a hunting camp is what you use to get your meat, and a forager's hut is what you use to get berries. So we're going to go ahead and build both of those, and let's put them over here. We'll put them kind of close together. So this is my hunting camp, and this is my forager's hut, and I'm going to rotate that around. To rotate it, you just click the left button, hold it down, and then move the mouse, and it rotates the orientation of the building. Let go, and then click again to set it. And then again, we have to connect these two roads, so let's connect a road between the two of them. Then we'll connect a road from there to here. So now they're connected to the main road, and we can get access to them easily. And then the other thing that I've learned is that you want to have more than one of these. You can assign multiple families to a building, and so you can have multiple families who are assigned to do berry gathering, but the building itself is limited in the amount of storage that it can hold. And so if you do that, you'll quickly fill up the building and they won't be able to gather anymore. And berries are only gatherable during spring, so you kind of want to do more than that. But I don't want to use up all of my timber until I have more timber being produced. And more timber won't get produced until we build our logging camp. And our logging camp is still not done. So I'm going to bump up the priority on that so that it's the highest priority thing we have to build, and then we can zoom down here and you can see people building it. It's done. They finished it. Okay, I'm going to slow back down. Alright, so the logging camp is now finished, so I can assign a family to work in the lumber camp. So I'm going to do that by clicking the plus sign, and it assigns a family. It doesn't matter which family right now. Now, later on, you might want to make sure you have a family who lives close by, so they don't have to walk all the way across the map just to get to work. Right now, our families are over there, and so they are going across the map to get to work. Alright, but now I know I'm not going to run out of timber because I have somebody getting new timber, so I can go ahead and start building more stuff. So let's see, I have these under construction to get food. I have timber coming. I don't have a source of fuel. So the way you get a source of fuel is with the woodcutter's lodge. And that's under gathering. And it's the second one, and that gets firewood. So he's going to chop down trees and make firewood. And so you want to have that close to your storage as well. So I'm going to put it here. And then it will come out here and start chopping down trees and making it into firewood. Okay. Now I'm going to add an extension to this road that's here, and I'm going to carry it out this way. Remember, roads are free and they don't take any resources, so you can build as many as you want. And it's organic, so it doesn't go, there's no grid, so it actually builds these things in a kind of cool and flexible way. So I want to make this easier for these people to get stuff, so now they have a road that they can follow, so it's faster for them to get where they need to be. Except he's decided not to follow the road. Looks like my storage is done. Yep. Alright, so I have my storage, but the stuff's still going to sit over there until I assign a family to work in the storehouse. Once you assign a family here, they're going to go gather that stuff and bring it here. So let's do that. Alright, so I assign one family here. And then my granary is still under construction. It's getting close, so let's bump it up to very highest. It has 2 out of the 2 timber needed, and it has 6 out of the 10 stone. So people are actually carrying the stone by hand. They're actually picking up the rocks and they're carrying them by hand. So that's going to take a little bit of a time. See, there's somebody right there with some. He's got a backpack full of stones. Back-breaking work. Now, when you assign people to work in the storehouse, they actually get hand carts, so they can work 10 times more efficiently than normal villagers. That's why you want to always make sure you have people working in your granary and in your storage house, so that they can easily carry stuff around for you. I'm going to speed this up, get them to finish my granary. Well, she's bringing stuff to the storehouse. See, but now she has a hand cart. See? When she gets here, she gets a hand cart. Alright, this is getting closer to being finished. So the stone went here, and then the people that needed the stone to build the house got the stone from the storehouse, so it's much quicker. I'm going to go ahead and add a second person here to get this done faster. I see they just chopped down a tree. He's cutting down the trees for this. And so they're coming out of the back of this. And they're just going straight through the woods this way, so it's at a road. Just there. That's a little better. Just took the corner off of it a little bit. Greenery is getting closer. 8 of 10. So he's taking stuff to storage, dropping it off, and then going to get more. Almost done. See, they're also working on my woodcutter's lodge down there. Greenery is not done yet. It's still missing a little bit of stone. So because they can't work on this, they're working on this. Woodcutter's lodge. It just takes timber. There we go. Did I get my stone? Nope. Gotta get the stone. Woodcutter's lodge is finished. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and assign somebody to that. They're going to start going in there and chop wood. Going off the woods, cut down trees, and making firewood.
Tomorrow, find a new home or town.
That stone. There's no stone in the storehouse, so they're having to bring it from over there. This is the problem of having where I want to set my village so far away from where the game started me. Okay, it says the family's resources stolen by nearby bandits. And then it's telling me also that my villagers want a market so that they can sell their excess stuff. So they need to have access to get stuff. And the way they get stuff for their house is from the market. Here comes more stuff. Alright. What is that for? I don't know. The greenery's done, so I can add somebody to the greenery. So I'm going to add somebody here. Now, the problem is I have no available or unassigned families, so all construction stops. So I have to keep one family free at all times, at least one family free. So I'm going to take one of the guys off of here. So I have somebody in the greenery going over there to get the food to bring it here. I have somebody here getting the other supplies and bringing them here. And they're using hand carts. I have one person here making timber, and I have one person here just getting firewood. Now, if you look, I only have 4 months of food, so I probably need to take him off of doing this. Oh, these buildings aren't built yet, so I gotta get this built. And I gotta get that. And I'm gonna leave this 2 unassigned to try to get this done a little faster. See, they're so far away. That's the problem. Let's just speed stuff up and see if that helps. This is the worst layout I've had since I've been playing this game. So the hunting camp is done, okay, so I can assign somebody to work on that. Okay, let's go ahead and assign somebody to get food. So now they're going to go hunting. And the deer are off in here. And that's done. So I can start foraging for food. So now you got to make a decision. Do I still need timber? Well, I've got 23 timber. That's probably enough to last me for a while. So I'm going to take somebody off of the timber, logging, and I'm going to put them on gathering berries. Because I have all these berries that are ready to be harvested. As you can tell by the purple line around this, it says I have 64 berries available. Okay, so a lot of these buildings have areas where they work in, and that's under advanced. And so right now it's set to unlimited work area. So it could go over here looking for something, it could go over here looking for something, it could go over here. Well, I want them to focus on where the berries are. So just pick that and then click where the berries are. Same thing for the hunting camp. I want it to go where the animals are. So you want to come over here, but I don't know that they're actually there. And I can make this area bigger or smaller by holding down Control and using the scroll wheel. So I'm going to give them a search area of about there for finding food. And you can see so far we got 5 hides and we have 6 meat. And our food storage has gone up to 7 months. Let's go see if we have stuff still over in that village. Area over here. What's left? Okay, there's still some supplies here, and the people are living here. So. Once those supplies are gone, there's nothing really to keep them over there, and so we don't need people here. What I want to do is start building houses, and so you also need to think about where do you want your market to go. And the market needs to be in a centrally located area, because people take things from the market to fulfill their needs in their homes, and it's on a proximity basis. So the houses that are the closest to the market get their stuff first. And so if your house is really far away from the market, you may never get the things you need. So always try to build your houses close to where you put your market. And to avoid people from having to walk so far, you want to make sure you put your markets where you have your resources. And so you want to have your market stall close to your granary and your storehouse. And now you may be adding more to that, which is okay, but you want to start out that way. So you go to construction and then residential, and you can see you have marketplace. So let's put our marketplace right here. You just draw a box. So you connect it to the road, and then this is going to face the road, and then we draw a box for where we want it to go. And so that's pretty big. That'll hold, I can't tell how many it says. It's underneath my cursor. A lot. We don't need that many. So maybe go here and then there. Okay, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 maybe? That's a good starting point. Let's start there. So they can build 10 market stalls here. And you see they already started building market stalls. And so the key things that they're going to be building there is going to be firewood storage, food, clothing. And then from there it expands. and then people can get their needs fulfilled by going to the market. Now we need to build houses. So let's go ahead and pick a burger plot. So a burger plot, you don't build houses in Manor Lords, you build burger plots, and then the villagers decide what they want to put there. And so a burger plot is a piece of land that's given to your peasantry by the lord of the domain. And on that, they have the right to put their house, they have a right to grow their own sustainable food, so they can grow vegetables, they can raise chickens, and in this game they can have goats, and the goats are used to produce hides, and the hides are used to produce leather, and the leathers are used to produce clothing. You can have vegetables, and vegetables add additional food sources for the villagers, and villagers like to have a variety of food. They don't just want to eat berries, and they don't just want to eat meat, so they want other things. So having a vegetable garden, you get a variety of vegetables. You have chickens, you raise eggs, and so you get eggs as well, so you get more food. So you want to have those things. And the larger your lot, the more room you have to grow things. And so you really want to have lots that are big enough for what you want to have your villagers do. And so initially you want to have your villagers producing some food, some additional food, so like vegetables. So you need a pretty big lot. It doesn't need to be very wide, but you can have very long, deep lots with a lot of place in the back for growing vegetables. Chickens and goats don't need a lot of room. So let's start by growing. We're going to draw, and this is very organic. It's not fixed, so you can have whatever shapes you want, basically. We're going to put these to face along this road. So we start here, and you just drag it along the facing that you want. And you get an arrow there telling you which road it's facing towards. And then click to set that. So that's the width of the lot. Now we're going to go to the depth of the lot. And again, this is going to be, I want it to be pretty deep because I'm going to have vegetable plots on here. And the bigger they are, the more they produce. But the longer it takes to produce them, and the more they have to work. So you see, you can adjust the size of these. Now you see the symbols in the bottom with the dashed lines. That's where your house is going to go. Okay? And then beyond that, there's a dotted line. And in the back is your backyard area where you're going to be able to put your vegetable farm or your chicken coop or your goats, or later on you can have things like a brewery or a bakery or orchards or all kinds of things back there. So you want it to be pretty deep. Also, you notice the plot on the left has a smaller area for a house, so you can actually have 2 houses in there with 2 families living there. This one doesn't have room for that. So this is good to start with, so let's go ahead and we'll do that. Put 2 families here, or 2 plots there, but I need 5 because I have 5 families who are homeless, so let's do a couple more. These I'm not going to go quite as deep, so we'll go about here, and it's going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I don't need 5, so I have 2 here, and I need 3 more to satisfy my needs for my villagers. So I can delete some, and as you do, you notice that they get bigger, wider, and as they get wider, they can hold extra families. So that's actually cool. So now I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 families in these 3 lots with these 2. That'll give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm getting 9 families in here. So let's go ahead and do that. So I only built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plots, but I can get 9 families eventually. So it starts building my plots. And I'm gonna really have fast speed, so let's slow down. So this is it done already? Wow, this one's done already. So families are starting to move in. It says family members join one of the settlers. And so once I have my storehouse built, which I do have, and I get 5 plots built, I should get my shipment of weapons. Then I can build my militia, and I can go kick ass on those bandits that keep robbing me up here. So this lot isn't wide enough to have more than one family on it. But what this lets me do is I can add a backyard extension. I can decide to put chickens, goats, which I don't really use goats for a while until later in the game because they just produce hides, and hides are used for leather. But there's other ways of getting hides too. And so chickens, they give you eggs, and you get 1 egg per family per month, which is not a lot. And then it doesn't matter how big your yard is, you still get the same amount. So you want to have those on double wide plots so you can have 2 families, so you get 2 eggs per month. And then vegetables, you get a certain number of vegetables based on the size of the yard. So they cost 15 of this commodity, which is called your village wealth, and that's basically how much money the village has. And so it's a finite number early on, and it runs out pretty quickly, so you don't want to spend it on a lot of things you don't need. So let's go ahead and put 1 vegetable plot in, and we'll just do that. So we'll pick that. Make sure it's on the right one. I want it on this one because it's 2 families, so I want to put that on here. Boom. Okay, so they're going to start building. Is it already winter? Oh my gosh. Let's check our resources. So I have food for 20 months and fuel for 17, which is a good thing. So I can make it through the winter. Now fuel is burned at, I think it's 2 or 4 times, I can't remember.
We'll need to lift this beam.
It says right here, fuel consumption in the winter is doubled. So yeah, it burns twice as much fuel in the wintertime than it does in the summer or other months. All right, so they're, after the winter's passed, they're going to start building a vegetable garden here. And now I only have 85 in my wealth. The other thing I want to do is I want to add a second family here. So I'm going to do that everywhere I can. So these aren't finished being built yet. Okay. I still have 3 homeless families, and winter is here, so it's not good. Let's get these things built. My families are going to freeze to death out there. Okay, so I got somebody moving in here. Got somebody moving in there. And this one needs to get finished. Enough houses for everybody, so it says settlement level increased, new development units, yay. So let's see, and a new message. And the new message says, a strong militia is paramount to the survival of any settlement. Luckily, a shipment of weapons has just arrived, and you will now be able to create your first militia banners to serve you and protect your people. However, we will need more weapons to equip all the people as the settlement grows, either by making them or importing them from other lands. Let's form the militia. Okay, so okay, I have a bunch of weapons, so let's go ahead and create a militia. You do that with the army button down here. And you hit this big plus, and you have a bunch of units you can choose from. Well, all I have is these 20 spears and these 20 shields, and that goes with this unit. These guys take weapons like these axes, these take pole arms, these take bows. I don't have any of those, so all I can make is a spear unit, so I click that to create the unit. I only have available 11 people, maximum of 36. I only have 11 available to go in this militia unit right now, and I only have gear for 20. So 11's less than 20, so it's okay. As my population goes up, I'll have more people available. Now the problem is, what this does is it actually takes men from my families. So production comes to a halt while you have your militia active. So when they're called up, they actually leave the farms, they leave the logging, they leave whatever it is you have them doing, and they go on into the militia. And if they die, then you have to end up replacing them. So production can really get whacked. So we have this group, we're going to deploy it, and let's deploy it, we're going to deploy it somewhere. Let's deploy it right here. And then you will see on the map, there they are. There's my militia, and they're all coming over here. I want to turn off running because that's exhausting. I'm going to walk them over here. Now let's look at the map. We're going to scroll out and figure out where this bandit camp is. There it is right there. There's a bandit camp right there. So I'm going to take my military and I'm going to go over here. Because then I'll start to interact with them. I can fight with them. So I guess I'm going to do it at the lower level. Getting dark, so I thought I'd better turn the light on. Okay. So where were we? Oh yeah, military. Gotta fight these guys. I don't know where my military got. My militia is. Militia's here, so I want my militia to go here. So we'll click here.
Yes, sire.
And they will come over here. And they'll walk there. Now I can tell them to line up in a certain way by doing this. The arrow tells you where they're going to face, and the dots represent the individual soldiers. So I want like one line like that.
Advance.
So now they're going to walk over here. And it will take them a while, so let's speed up. And so this is taking days and days and days, and while this is happening, my production goes to crap. Alright, it's getting closer so I can slow down. Now, once the bad guys over here detect my guys getting close, their army's going to get mobilized and start coming towards us. See these guys? They'll start advancing on us. So they haven't figured that out yet. Alright, where's my dudes? Oh, here they come. Okay, slow down. Boom. So they're on their way. They sent 16 guys over here to fight with us. Okay, there's my guys. So let's go down here. There they are. Now, I'm going to stop my guys and tell them to wait here because they will come to me. So those guys are going to come to us. And if they march all that way, they're going to be tired by the time they get there. So that's what I'm doing this. So they're going to come to me. And we get a, because we're spearmen, we get an advantage for standing still and waiting for them. And so I'm going to tell my guys to stand your ground. So you have different options. You can do like give ground, missile alert, which says soldiers watch for enemy missiles. The chance to avoid or block enemy missiles is doubled, but they don't have any bowmen. This is balance, so it's a default stance with no bonus and no penalties. That's what we're in right now. Stand your ground. Soldiers try to stand their ground. Defense is doubled, but attack frequency is halved. And so I want to be very defensive on this, and then push forward means you try to push them back. So I'm going to do stand your ground. So my guys just stand their ground and don't get pushed away. We're fully rested, and they are too, so it didn't really matter. I guess they're walking slow enough they didn't get tired. Now there's 16 of them, and there's 11 of us. Here they come. And the battle commences. Come on, guys. And you can kind of tell what's going on as you look around. You can see, okay, we've got 11, they got 16, 11, 16. We'll start seeing these numbers go down as guys get killed. So I'm not attacking very well because I'm in stand your ground, but I'm defending at double the normal rate. So it's going to be harder for them to kill my guys. But it's also harder for me to kill them. So I lost a guy. They haven't lost anybody. So if I switch to balanced, well, now they're down. See, they're at 12, 11. So they're starting to drop guys. I'm at 10. They're at 10. They're at 9, and soon they're going to break and run away. They're already at half the size they were. They're down to 6, and there they go. Bye-bye. Run away. Now, we're going to advance. And we're going to go take out their little tent. Their campsite. If I can find it. Where did it go? There it is. So we need to go over here and take out their camp. So beating them gave me influence. So I'm now up to 320 influence. When you get enough influence, you can conquer a region nearby. And so you have to have 1,000 influence to conquer the first region, and then you have to have 2,000 to conquer the next one. And so if you keep taking out bandit camps like this, or destroying the bandits themselves, you get influence. So it takes like 3 or 4 times before you have enough influence to take over a region. Once you have taken over a region, you can put settlers there and you can start growing a city into that region. When I destroy this bandit camp, I'm rewarded with financial gain. So I take all their loot and I gain financially. And that's how I can increase this region wealth, or I can increase my personal treasury. And for now, I need the money in my regional wealth, so I can do stuff. So this is a good thing for us to do. So come on, guys, let's speed up. Let's go take out this thing. Here they go. And let's take out this bandit camp. Oops. You gotta wait for everybody to catch up. So I lost one guy. So my population went down by 1. And that was a worker, and so I gotta get more people to replace that guy. Okay, so this is a new message. Spoils of war. When searching through the enemy belongings, you find a stash of goods. They can be sent to your people who surely need them, though. It is your right to keep it. So send resources to the nearest town. That adds it to your regional wealth. Or this belongs to my treasury now. It goes to my personal treasury. And so for me right now, I need it to be in the village. So I send it there. And you notice now my regional wealth went up to 268. Alright, so we need to go home. I want to disband this unit so they go back to work, but I can't disband in somebody else's territory. I have to be in my own territory to disband. So let's hurry them up and get them home. So it says I gained 183 regional wealth from that. Okay. So now they're here. I can click on them and I can do disband. And now those guys will walk home. Alright, and if you notice, our little town over here that we started with is gone now. Anyway, so that's enough for this session. So next time we'll get into some more stuff. But anyway, just wanted to give you an idea. So you've seen a little bit of everything, including some combat. So we will finish this up next time around. So appreciate you guys joining the stream.